Hey, what's good, y'all? This is Ryan Jackson from Ryan Jackson LLC. Hope y'all are having a blessed and wonderful day. I'm gonna get into the topic for this video. Won't be too long, but I wanted to touch on this. So yesterday was March 5th, and it marked the 58th anniversary of the a Bloody Sunday. March 5th, 1965, Bloody Sunday, Selma, Alabama, on the Edmund Pettus Bridge. Future Congressman John Lewis led a march of 600 protesters across the Edmund Pettus Bridge in Selma, Alabama, um, for voting rights. This actually led to the 1965 Voting Rights Act, which was passed by then President Lyndon Baines Johnson. A lot of y'all, if you all have seen the movie Selma, what's the brother's name? The British actor, I can't think of his name, but he portrayed Dr. King. I forgot who portrayed um, John Lewis in the movie. Can't think of the brother's name, but Wendell Pierce portrayed the Reverend Ralph Abernathy, the great actor from The Wire. Uh, what's the other movie? Get on the Bus and Waiting to Exhale, among other movies. He was in Treme too. The great Wendell Pierce, great actor, great brother. He played the Reverend Ralph Abernathy. But on the Edmund Pettus Bridge, so the 600 protesters, for those of you who may not know, John Lewis, a young John Lewis, who was what, I think 24 at that time, was in his early 20s. He was leading a protest of for voting rights in Alabama. And 600 protesters, a lot of them were marching across the Edmund Pettus Bridge. Alabama state troopers were on the other side. So when the protesters were marching across the bridge, the troopers met them and they beat them with billy clubs and whips and just beat the hell out of these people. John Lewis was knocked upside the head until the white meat showed, and that's why it's called Bloody Sunday. And it was shown on TV. It was shown live on TV. And again, this incident led to the Voting Rights Act of 1965. So yesterday was the 58th anniversary of it. And y'all president, Jim Crow Joe, wanted to mark the anniversary. And he called for renewed voting rights. I'm sorry. And I know this is not going to go well with a lot of you for what I'm about to say. I don't have any respect for someone who allows people to beat them across the head with a billy club or to get whipped. I'm sorry, that's just me. Some of you may feel that way, some of you may not. I can't respect that. You're going to allow someone to crack your head until the white meat show so you could vote. Vote for what? What has voting done for us? I've said it again on my Facebook timeline, on my Twitter page, on my Twitter timeline, on these videos in my podcast. I've been saying it for the past 2.5 years, almost 3 years now, since I've been doing podcasts and videos. What the hell has voting gotten us? Voting for what? You got your head cracked. For what? You got beaten and whipped. For what? Black people don't have a pot to piss in or a window to throw it out of. We don't. We don't have economic empowerment. We don't own anything. This book, Powernomics, Dr. Claude Anderson, read it. Read it. It talks about how voting hasn't gotten us any damn where, how black people are still behind the curve. He talks about it in his book, Powernomics. Read it, learn it. Powernomics. Voting has gotten us nowhere, y'all. When will we learn? Like I said on my Twitter timeline, the definition of insanity is doing something over and over again and expecting a different result or different results. That's the definition of insanity. And Negroes are insane. They fit the bill when it comes to insanity. We still talking about voting. Almost 60 years later, it hasn't gotten us any damn where. Who are we voting for? The damn Democrats? The Democrats? What the hell have they done for us? Have you seen all these cities, which are, by the way, run by the Democrats? My hometown of Detroit. Love it. Love it with all my heart. Love Detroit. Love it. Always will, always have. And will continue. Love Detroit. Democrats have ruined Detroit. Chicago, which is three and a half hours west of Detroit. They're neighbors. Chicago is another one. Milwaukee, 90 miles north of Chicago. All those Midwest. Detroit, Chicago, Milwaukee. Philly, another city I love. Reminds me of Detroit. Democrats have ruined Philly. Baltimore, 100 miles south of Philly. They really have screwed up Baltimore. Atlanta, have family there. Ruined Atlanta. Houston, Miami. Well, not so much Miami, but definitely Houston, LA, the Bay Area, San Francisco, where I'm living, Oakland, I'm right next to Oakland, across the bridge of San Francisco. They have ruined San Francisco and Oakland and Los Angeles. Up the coast, Portland, another Democratically ran city. Up the coast, 3 hours away, Seattle. I have a good brother that lives there. I've seen Seattle. I witness every day Oakland and San Francisco every day. I've seen LA, seen Atlanta, seen Chicago, haven't visited Milwaukee, seen Detroit. Again, I'm from there. I visit there. My family's there. Seen Philly, been there a few times. Seen Baltimore a couple of times. Seen how they're ruining New York City, the Big Apple. Been there a few times. All these cities, democratically run cities, are being ruined by the Democrats. They want black people to keep voting for them. Keep voting for them. For what? So they could get tangibles to immigrants? So they could keep sending billions upon billions upon billions upon billions of dollars to those neo-Nazi terrorists, the Ukrainians, for their war against Russia? Every damn week, it seems like we're sending Ukraine money. We just sent them $40 billion, but they're supposed to be winning the war against Russia? Really? If they're winning, why the hell are we sending them money then? Have y'all figured that one out? If Ukraine is beating Russia, if they're defeating Putin, who is also evil, Zelensky's evil, they're both evil. It's a European gang fight. It's a European version of the gangster disciples and the vice lords. That's what this is. If Ukraine is beating Russia, supposedly, allegedly, why the hell are we keep sending them money if they're winning? Make it make sense. Why are we training Ukrainian neo-Nazi Ukrainian terrorists on our soil? Why? This is what the Democrats want. They want us, they come to things like this, the 50th anniversary of Bloody Sunday in Selma. They reenact the march. Joe Biden could barely walk. Al Sharpton looking like a shriveled up turtle without the shell. These bootleg, half paid, handkerchief head Sambo niggers with this racist president march across the damn bridge, reenacting it. Well, they really didn't reenact it because none of them were beat with billy clubs or whipped with whips. So, but they reenacted the march, I guess. Yeah, so they reenacted the march, and they call for voting, 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 voting. For what? What if some people want to vote for Trump? Are you still championing their rights then? I'm not voting for Trump, but I'm not voting for Biden either. I'm not voting for neither one of them. Both of them are white supremacists. Both of them are racist. I'm not voting for neither one of them. But this is what they keep doing. And we keep falling for it, hook, line, and sinker. And it's insanity. It's insane. And we look like fools. We keep talking about voting, voting. What are we voting for? What has it gotten us? Our cities are in shambles. This country is in shambles. Minister Farrakhan spoke about it at Savior's Day last Sunday, at Savior's Day in Chicago. America is falling. The world Armageddon is beginning. America is falling. The messenger, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, spoke of America's demise 60 years ago, and it's now starting to come to pass. We keep sending billions upon billions of dollars to these to these neo-Nazi terrorists in the Ukraine. Zelensky is a terrorist. Putin is a terrorist. But yet they want us to keep voting. Did they mention reparations at this march yesterday? Hmm? Did they say anything about reparations? Did they say anything about a black empowerment plan, a black version of the Marshall Plan? Did they mention that? Did they mention giving us access to capital, ATC, access to capital, something Dr. Boyce Watkins speaks about all the time? Did they speak to that? Giving us access to capital to start businesses, build up our communities, a black economic plan. We can rebuild our cities, rebuild our neighborhoods, strengthen our families. Did they speak about that at this 50th anniversary of Bloody Sunday? They sure talk about voting, though. Voting does not give us economic empowerment. He who has economic empowerment controls the narrative. They control their own laws. They make the rules in their communities. But let's vote. Let's vote. Let's march and vote. March and vote. March, vote, and pray. March, vote, and pray. And occasionally protest. The hell has this gotten us? It's the same playbook from 60 years ago, and it's played out, and it's tired, and it's silly, and it's dumb, and stupid, and foolish. Prove me wrong. I know a lot of you are not going to agree with me, and God bless you. That's your prerogative. Agree to disagree without being disagreeable. But what have it gotten us? Yes, we have the right to vote. That's great. That's outstanding. But what are we voting for? Did they even mention reparations? Did they even say the word reparations yesterday? I know the answer to that question, but we got to vote. And what has Joe Biden given us? He said, Black people, you have my back, I'm going to have your back. Yeah, he's stabbing us in the back. He got our back all right with the axe through it. I cannot stand this man. Don't like Trump either, but I respect Trump a little bit more than Biden. With Trump, what you see is what you get. But Biden is so sneaky and sinister. They're the ones you got to watch. You can see Trump a mile away, miles away. Because, like I said, what you see is what you get with him. So I can respect that. Don't like him. He's a horrible person. I'm not going out here wearing a MAGA hat, going out here, stumping for Trump. No, no, no. Not I. Trump is a horrible person, but Joe Biden is a horrible person as well. They're both horrible people. So I'm not supporting either one of them. But being that Black people love and worship the Democrats for what, God knows why, they haven't given us anything. Nothing. We own less than 1% of wealth in this country. I'm sorry, less than one half of 1%. That's what Dr. Claude Anderson said. Less than one half of 1% of wealth in this country. We own more after slavery than we do now. Or let me rephrase that. We're in the same position of ownership after slavery as we are now. At one point, we did own land. At one point, President Grant, after the Civil War, he was giving people, when Black men had the right to vote, because women didn't get the right to vote till 1920, white women too. A lot of people don't realize this. Black men had the right to vote before white women. Look it up. During Reconstruction, Black people were starting to own land. We were starting to get power. There were more Black people in government, more Black people owning land, more Black people were starting to improve their lives. This was Reconstruction period. But the Southern Compromise 86 that. It didn't last long. That was the birth of the Ku Klux Klan by whom other than the Democratic Party. Look it up, look it up, look it up, look it up. The Southern Compromise or the Great Compromise. That's what the Great Compromise of 1877. Look it up. That's when it all started changing for Black people. So from 1865 to about 1876, 1877, that was like a good grace period for us. Better than now. Isn't that some sad shit to say? 1865 to 1877, we're starting to look up for us in this country. My great grandfather, my great grandfathers, my great grandparents owned land. My paternal grandfather in Mississippi, my maternal great grandfather in Georgia, what so have you. Black people had their own land, had their own stores, their own movie theaters, their own transportation companies, bus, cab, and airplane companies, planes. movie theaters, barbershops, or so have you. We have Black Wall Street in Tulsa, which many of you know about. We had the Black Bottom, Hastings Street in Detroit, which those of you older people in Detroit or some younger may have heard of. I remember as a little boy, uh, the deacons and mothers our pastor at church speaking about Hastings Street, Paradise Valley, Black Bottom. Pittsburgh had their own version of Black Wall Street. Chicago did. Harlem, you had Harlem in New York. Harlem was a Black Renaissance. Wilmington, North Carolina. Dr. Claude Anderson speaks about that. Matter of fact, that's where he's from. They had a Black Wall Street, which is, by the way, destroyed. Atlanta had one. You had Rosewood down in Florida, Rosewood, Florida. That was another kind of seemed like Black Wall Street. So you had a lot of them in the South and the Midwest. They are gone now. We have black economic empowerment over 100 years ago. Now we just some silly beings crying about voting. What has happened to us? We continue to let the Democratic Party pimp us out. We have become simps for the Democratic Party. And it's sad. It's absolute infuriating and just disheartening because we keep getting played and we haven't learned our lesson. So the hell what? The 50th anniversary of Bloody Sunday. Did y'all mention reparations? That would have been a perfect opportunity to mention it. Something like that, that's a case of reparations right there. But y'all didn't. Y'all dropped the ball yet again, once again. Al Sharpton, looking like a shriveled up turtle without the shell. The old bag of bones cracker, Jim Crow Joe. Y'all president, Obama marked the 50th anniversary 8 years ago in 2015. I remember that him and the late John Lewis. God bless him, but I just can't respect someone who got cracked upside their head until the white meat showed and didn't fight back. And for what? Didn't John Lewis put his signature on the crime bill? So that shows me even more why I should respect him. You know, God rest his soul, but no. Did he know what he was doing? Who knows? But your name is on it. You helped sign that crime bill. You and a lot of members of the Congressional Black Caucus signed something that was our Holocaust, our modern day Holocaust, mass incarceration in the 1990s. Thank you, John Lewis. Thank you. May God have mercy on your soul. Hit that thumbs up button, smash that thumbs up button down, hit the subscribe button so you get notifications when I do videos on here. Drop the comments below, let me know what you think. Share this video, make it go viral. Make it go viral on your social media accounts. Please share it. Let's have a conversation. And again, we may not agree, but let's agree to disagree without being disagreeable, particularly on subjects such as this, especially on subjects such as this. Be careful, be safe, brothers as well as sisters. Devil comes to kill, steal, and destroy. So beware and be aware of your surroundings. I love you. Please continue to support this YouTube channel and support my podcast channels. My podcast channel. I'm trying to do one more. I'm thinking about doing one more. So if I do it, please support that one too. But support my podcast channel and this YouTube channel. I need your love and support. I can't do it without y'all. Till next time, I love y'all. Have a great and excellent day. I'm about to get some grub. I'm kind of hungry here. So till next time, y'all take care. Peace and blessings. And I love y'all much. I'm out.